I'm sure we all know someone who loves playing guitar, and today's 12 Days of Giftmas project, I'm making these Fender guitar bookends for my brother. And the great news is, you can make exactly the same one too, using my free template download. After printing it, I cut around my guitar, and to cut out the middle bit properly, I held the square edge of the paper on something square, and used a combination square and a styling knife to cut it perfectly square. And the same for the other.
Excellent!
I also stumbled across these offcuts of painted birch plywood, and I loved how thick they were, knowing these were perfectly square because I trimmed them down and drew around the two templates. To cut out my shape, I used my bandsaw. You could easily use a jigsaw for this, but because it was the coldest day of the year, I had to disappear and get some gloves. This was giving off an Arctic chill on my hands. It was freezing, and sand up to my pencil lines. I removed all the paint and then discovered a really nice veneer, although the other piece of the veneer was on the wrong side, so they're contrasting. I think it adds a charm anyway. I found an old oak drawer front, and this was perfect for the L shapes of the bookmarks, and I cut two pieces out the end that I'll use for the bases. That is looking very smart. So back to the template, you'll also need to cut out the pick guard, the white bit. I found some coated backboard and I'm drawing around it, although the smaller piece I thought was a bit too small, so I made it a little bit bigger. Just don't tell anyone. And the other one, exactly the same. Back to the scroll saw to cut those out, and after sanding the edges, I spray painted them white and left them to dry. I don't really know what colour guitar my brother's got these days, but I just sprayed it black because that's what I had. So while those are drying, I then cut the uprights for the bookends and chamfered the edges on a bench sander. Although if you want it to look pristine, use a router. I got a little bit lazy. After setting up a bit of a jig, I then glued and nail gunned the L shapes. I just wanted to keep things simple. Now to glue and nail the guitar from the bottom and the back. So this is the exciting part. I used some hot glue to quickly stick the pick guards down. And use the templates again to mark where my screws needed to go. And pre-drilled and screwed some silver self-tapping screws. In fact, the only thing that cost me on this project was a cheap pack of screws and this guitar strap button, which I pre-drilled and screwed it on with a black rubber washer that it comes with. And I much prefer the price of this compared to the £64 for a pair that I saw online. I'd love to know that I've saved you a lot of money this Christmas, and I just think they look cool. And if you need some more woodworking gift ideas, don't forget to watch the playlist of all the projects from the 12 Days of Giftmas so far.